What's up guys, Skottyy here from the Blue Coconut family and welcome back to another City Skylines tutorial. Today we're going to be continuing our look into the in-depth of farming industry for a much highly requested set of videos. So last video, if you watched it, we looked at the auxiliary buildings of the farming area. Today we're going to be looking at the real kind of, if you pardon the pun, kind of the meat of the farming area. And I say meat, it's not meat, it's going to be the crops and the fields, or commonly known in the game as your extractor buildings. Now extractor kind of that works for your ores and your oil fields, that kind of is a good given name, but I feel for your farming area that doesn't quite work. You don't really extract raw materials out of soil. You do in a way, I know technically if you boil it down to, but you can't really call a fruit field an extractor. It doesn't extract, you grow it, it's a pasture, it's a, you know, it's a field. It's, I don't know, I just feel like maybe they should rename those. Put your comment below, do you feel like they should rename that for the farming areas away from extractor buildings? I'm not too sure. So the extractors, you've got 6 types of fields, and each unlock at different levels. I know I forgot to record putting that in for the last video, but I quickly put it in as an edit, so apologies, I'll make sure I cover it on this one. So you can find these extractor buildings once again under your garbage and industry tab in your farming area, but under the first green cogwheel. So you can see here you've got 6 types of extractors. So if we start from the left and go all the way to the right hand side, so the first one, we've got this small crop field. This is unlocked at level 1, so this is the first initial one you can unlock. It has a cost of 4,000 and has an upkeep of 12 a week, so very, very cheap. No pollution, pollution and no noise pollution. The water is 400 meters cubed a week, so it has a high water demand. No electricity is required. Can have 20 workplaces in it, so it is very quite nice. And has a production value, production units a week of 4,800. That equals, with the size of the grid, 150 units of production for each cell, and that's because the cell of this is a 4x8 grid. So we can see here that it's quite a long field, so it's 4 along the front and 8 back. We can place this right here. Now the benefit and quite a unique thing of part of these buildings is once you place it, it will place a random one down, but if you click on appearance you can actually change exactly how it looks. So you can go through, you can say, right, that kind of looks like corn, so if you want a completely corn looking farm, you can change everything to corn, and then everything looks quite uniform. It does not affect your production at all, it is purely aesthetic. So you've got a choice of corn, cotton fields, you've got potatoes, wheat, and you've also got a greenhouse. Greenhouse is probably it's quite a modern one, and I quite like the look of that for being quite close to the main buildings here. As you can see there, I am missing water supply to these buildings. Okay, so what I'm also going to do is I'm going to build a small little road, I feel. I'm going to build down the small industry road. So this road is something that was added into the game for the industry DLC, and it has a benefit in the sense of it is very cheap. Its cost is only 30 per cell, unlike normal roads, which, you know, we can see that's 40 per cell, so it's cheaper, but has got a higher noise pollution on it, so it's quite a noisy road, so you don't want to be building your city with it, but for this purpose it's perfect. So I'm going to be building a road up, so it's quite nice. So I'm going to make sure that I am perfect away, so that is currently 4 there, 5, 6, 7, 8, so I'm placing my road here. I've selected the wrong type, that's fine. There we go. And I'm going to place it out there. Let's make sure that my area can reach out that distance. That's fine. Right, let's look at the next field. So this is a slightly larger one. so these are all the crop fields. We'll come on for fruit fields in a bit. You'll see those at the bottom. So this is the medium crop field. This is unlocked at level 3, has a cost of 8,000 as a down payment, and has an upkeep of 28 a week. Once again, has no pollution, noise or normal, and it's worth noting ahead that none of the extractor buildings or none of the fields actually cause any pollution or noise pollution. They are completely quiet and are very clean. The water is considerably more at 560 cubic meters a week, has a size of 8 by 8, has 22 workplaces. There's only 2 more than the small crop field. Production though is ramped up quite heavily as 8,000 units a week, so it means with the size has a production sale value technically less than the other small crop field of 125. So it's actually less for the size of field you're getting, but the production rate itself for the natural for actually what you're getting is actually higher. So it's actually worthwhile you building 2 small fields next to each other than it is for having one of these fields. But saying that, the upkeep in water will be just slightly under double than having one of these fields. But you do require more workforce to maintain it. The cost would be less though. But let's put one of these down to see exactly how it looks. And I quite like the look of these buildings, purely the fact that it has an actual building on it. So we can see here, this is put down the greenhouse version because I've already got a greenhouse next to it. So we can see what these look like. So you've got a choice of the corn building, which has a nice red barn. You've got the choice of the cotton fields, which has the barn kind of further back in it. You've got potatoes, which has like a little kind of outhouse building there, and wheat with a lovely barn and tree in it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to place down the cornfields all along this stretch of road here. So that's the medium term building. Just make sure that this area has got water covering it. Okay, moving on to the last field then, we have got the large crop field. So this unlocks at level 5 of your industry area, so it's quite a late game thing. Has a down payment of 12,000, has an upkeep of 40 a week. Once again, no pollution at all. Has quite considerably more water consumption of 640 a week, 640 cubic meters a week. Doesn't require any electricity. None of the extractor fields do. Has a cell size of 8 by 16, so it's quite considerably larger than the previous 2, and has 27 workplaces. So only has, very few, has 5 more than the previous building, but its production rate is higher, of 11,200 units a week. But with the cell size, that means you've only got a production value of 87.5 units per cell. So once again, it is actually more cost worthy to be doing the little ones, but once again, you'll be having higher water consumption and you'll be requiring more workers. So it is kind of a toss up on what you want to do, but let's have a look how this field looks. So you can see there how much considerably larger it is. It is very, very big, and the kind of the look of it is very nice in the middle. Once again, now I said before where this jumped across to be greenhouses because it was, yes, but the difficulty is because it has got 2 types, it's gone back to being random again. So this has gone to be cotton. It is larger, it goes back further. But let's look at the types it has. So this is the cotton field. So there's the corn. So very similar to the other one, except for the barn slightly bigger, and it looks kind of nicer. And obviously, naturally, it's bigger. You've got the cotton field, which we had before, which is a little road leading up to the little barn. Potatoes, road again, but it's a slightly different barn to the cotton field. And the wheat, a little road with 2 little kind of silos. And then you've got the greenhouse, which is quite large. So, like I said, I'm going to keep these as corn. And what I'm going to do for the rest of this road is I'm going to place down some large fields just to kind of fill in here, and we can see that they've all turned to corn. Just like so. There you go. So we've got a nice little set of roads here. And what I'm actually going to do Can I place this? Yeah, I'm going to move that building, set this one to be corn, and I'm going to put a small building here, so that then you can see there that I've actually managed to perfectly kind of square off this area, so it looks very nice. So now let's move on to the fruit fields. We can already see actually that it's producing quite a lot of goods which are being shipped out. Now I do have another farming area in this region, or in this city, so they're actually taking it over to that region for storage, but we'll cover storage in a future video. So let's look at the fruit fields. So same area, but it's these last three, and they are exactly the same as the other types. There is no change to their production rates or waters at all, so I'll quickly cover exactly what they are as a whole now, and then we'll look at how they look, because it's how they look is exactly what they are. So it depends on what your farm wants to be, so whether it's crop based or fruit based is how you do. And these unlock at the exact same tiers, so it's they unlock at level 1, at level 3 and at level 5. They have down payments of the small one being at 4,000, the medium one being at 8,000 and the large one being at 12,000. Upkeep a week of 12, 28 and 40. No pollution at all across the board. The water consumption is 400 cubic meters, 560 cubic meters, at 640 cubic meters. No electricity is required. Cell sizes of 4x8, 8x8 and 8x16. I don't think I covered on that one. This once again is 8x16 for the large fields. Workplaces is 20, 22 and 27 workplaces for these is required. Production rate is 4,800, 8,000 and 11,200, meaning the production units by cell size is 150, 125 and 87.5. So that's pretty much the gloss over of the production values. That's pretty much it for those covered. Let's have a look at the look of them. So you can see that they are very nice. So I'm actually going to go similar to how I did the last ones. So I'm going to place these small ones here. So I'm going to place down 2 small ones so that it matches the sides across. So that's the greenhouse type. So you've got a choice of apple trees, orange trees, pear trees and a greenhouse. So for the fruit, I feel that I'm going to keep them as greenhouse and a greenhouse as well. So they're the 2 greenhousey size, and then we've got the medium fruit fields, which I'm going to place down here. I'm facing this way. There's the greenhouse for the medium. It's got some parking bays out the front and some little orange trees and some flowers, so it looks quite nice. And let's have a look at these. So you've got the apple orchard, with like a little small road and some collection boxes. The orange orchard, or orangery. Double check in the comment section what are these actually called, because they're not actually listed here. They're named as just fruit fields. I'd love to know what, because I know an apple is an orchard, but is it also known as an orange orchard? Is it an orangery? What is it? Please comment below. I'd love to know. You've got the oranges and you've got the pears. Is that also an orchard? Not entirely sure. I'd love to know. Very similar to the apple, except for the row slightly longer. And of course the greenhouse, but we're going to keep these at the greenhouse to keep it like a little modern look sort of thing for fruits. So it means that we can technically grow anything. And let's look at the large ones here. So we're going to place down 3 large fields. So 1 large, 2 large, 3 large, and because we've got greenhouses before, these keep the exact same style of greenhouse. Yeah, let's have a look at how these look. So that's for greenhouse. So it's like a larger version of this version of the medium, except for it's got a few more kind of orange trees out the front and got more parking bays, and just kind of, I think the entrances are almost identical, and the building is just like obviously longer and has got some rubbish bins out the back. Let's look at the other types. So you've got the apples, like that. So you've just got a small little road, basically the same as the medium size, except for it goes back further. You've got the orange one, pretty much exactly the same again. obviously it goes back further, and you've got a couple more boxes in there, and you can see people picking in the rows, and then there's the pairs as well. Keep it in the greenhouse. But yeah, you can see now that these are actually producing. There you go. You got these producing fruits and taking them off to storage. But yeah, we can see there we've got a high production rate already, and if we click on this, you can see that you can start to see exactly what this kind of all means. So the green plantation is exactly what this region is called. You can see acquisition, so that's things that are coming. This kind of shows you how are we getting our production. So maybe you've got higher processing factories, and we'll cover that in a future video, than you do have of your own extractor buildings. Then you'll see your imports be higher, so you would actually have imports on here as orange, but because we are only producing at the moment, you can see that our own production is everything so far. We are producing 88 out of, our storage is 88 out of 331 tons, because we are producing directly 64 tons outputting. So we are currently making a quite hefty profit. No, it's not a profit so far, nearly profit. We are, we've just leveled up, perfect. We are producing an income of 1,280, which is quite nice. But our upkeep is 1,384. We can see what sort of size our region is, how many workers we got, so you can see if there's a deficit of workers, and if you hover over it you get a breakdown of what sort of skills our workers are, and you get to see there, like I said, your primary workers are low workers and uneducated. So our low education and uneducated workers, you can see there, are primarily kind of foothold of what you need, whereas high educated for your manager roles, you need some, but I've got some over-educated workers working here because my city is quite highly educated. This section here, you can see the level and the leveling up, so you see exactly what you need for production to boost your you need what you can see exactly what you need to do to your region to be able to boost to your next level. So you can see here that you need workers, which so far I'm over the next threshold, so I've got 410 and I needed 350, so I'm over that, but my production value, my production resource units is not great, so I need to produce more units, and we'll cover that in the next video. You can see down here what my area bonus is, and these area bonuses are directly linked to your auxiliary buildings you have built before. So you can see there my efficiency is times 20 because I've got I've got all the buildings in place, but my pollution is -10. Not quite sure where it's coming from. Oh, there you go. The higher the industry level, the less pollution is caused from extract. Oh yeah, there you go. Nice. So that gives you the bonuses of exactly what the levels mean. So yeah. So ignore what I just said. It's not due to what the buildings are down here. You just have to remember exactly what you placed. This is the higher the level you are, the better efficiency you got, and the lower pollution you've got. So we've actually currently on the less, so -10% of pollution. But it's kind of pointless on a farm because it doesn't produce any pollution. Interesting. But we'll cover the industry processing areas that I do believe some of those do produce some pollution, so we'll look at exactly what that means in the next video. If this has been useful for you guys, sorry for the length of the video, but these things you wanted me to go into depth, so I have. But yeah, if this has been very useful for you guys, yeah, hit that like button. Also thumbs up for all our farmers across the world keeping us fed and healthy and happy. Yep, give a big thumbs up. I'd love to see how you design your farms. Have you gone to like the kind of the square grids as I have to make them look kind of uniform? Have you got huge rows of fields? I'd love to see them. Post photos on our Facebook page, Blue Coconut Family. We'll put a little post up there if I get some in, and we'll post and see what it looked like. That'd be awesome. Remember guys, hit the subscribe button. You guys, you know what to do. I've been Skottyy from the Blue Coconut Family. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.